and welcome back to Celebrity History. So today I'm here with the crew. We got Johnny, Sean, and Ruth, right? And so today we're going to be doing a recap of Love After Lockup. The episode is entitled Walk the Plank, right? So this episode started out with Deontay's story. That's where we picked up at. So Deontay jumps out his car and he starts screaming at Nicole. And he's asking, saying that, he's Nicole's man and that he basically told all, he was like, I just dropped you off. You just met my mom. I've been buying you all of this stuff, and this is how you do me. And then Nicole, she doesn't pretty much say anything, really. And then Deontay, he goes to his trunk, and for a second, I'm like, "What?" Because he's like, "Let me get in my trunk." I'm like, "Uh-oh, is he about to pull out a gun? What is he about to do?" And so he starts pulling out stuff to defraud people, and he just starts throwing it on the ground. So she does get out the car and throw the stuff into the trash, and she gets back in the car with the guy. I'm like, "Wow, you're not gonna try to send the guy away or anything?" So, what did you guys think of this scene?
First of all, I was proud of Deontay. I'm like, about time. Like, do something. Even though he could have did a little more, but he kept some class about himself. But I was still proud
Mhm.
of him. Because I was like, man, I know you ain't gonna just drive by, see her sitting in the car with this dude and not do nothing. Now, I wouldn't have been throwing no stuff that I bought on the ground, but maybe the teddy bear. I probably would threw it into the car, try to hit her in the head with it or something, but smack both of them with the teddy bear or something, you know what I'm saying? But I was proud of Deontay. I was disappointed in her because she ain't say nothing, and then you can hear her whisper, "Oh boy, I'll tell you about it later," which I thought was disrespectful.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I was proud of him.
Yeah, I really was proud of him. But I did have a moment where I was like, "Oh, Deontay!" When they showed him, he drove off.
He was crying.
Nicole and the guy, they drove off, and then they showed Deontay. He's in his car, crying, like hysterically
Yeah,
crying. So I
I
did
felt
feel
bad.
bad for him. What did you think of that scene, Johnny?
I was so annoyed.
Oh, what annoyed you,
If
girl?
y'all don't, if anyone cannot tell how much I cannot stand this couple, then you're gonna really understand why I can't stand this couple right now. So she gets in the car with her ex boyfriend. Even the ex boyfriend's kind of confused because he's sitting there like, what the hell is going on? His name is Zach,
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then Deontay goes off,
Mm-hmm.
but I still don't feel that it was enough to push him over. You know what I'm saying? Like it was enough for
No.
him to feel like, damn, this chick really has been just using me. Cause
Mm-hmm.
it was just so he was mad or maybe so embarrassed, but he
Hmm.
wasn't I the whole thing just was I was totally thrown. I just was disgusted. She's disgusting. He's
Shit.
stupid. And I
Yeah.
hate the typical stereotype that it's putting out there with I'm sorry, black men and white women. That's the typical thing. They can do this crap and yet they'll sit there and say we bring about drama. But all the crap that she just did, it just shows I really hate the narrative that it's feeding into. And I think that's what annoys me the most about it.
Hmm.
It's annoying. I just want them to stop.
I could
So
agree with
you said
that.
he didn't get angry enough,
No, he
was
didn't get
your
angry
feeling?
enough. What if it to me, I think what happens when you put yourself in that situation, the disbelief, yeah, the hurt, yeah, but even still, you're angry. You do more than just throw out somebody's stuff and get back in your car and cry. He didn't even go over to her side of the car. He was yelling at her by his side. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't even go over to her and confront her face to face. He didn't open up the door and say, "You need to talk to me and explain to me what's going on." Like he just was screaming through the driver's side.
I think you wanted to see a more toxic exposure.
Yeah, like this woman's been using you. You're broke. You've spent all this money on this chick, and you can't even confront her face to face. You have to do it on the other side. You can't get in her face and say, "What the hell have
Well,
you done? Why are you doing this?"
Well,
True.
I can understand why he didn't get in her face. There is camera crew and stuff, and then if he got in her face, that's aggressive. So, especially with him being a man, and especially a black man, I do appreciate the fact that he was not getting in her face because, on average, no man should get in your face because that could have led to something else. Because I know a man get in my face, you're not. That's your one time getting in my face because whatever is heavy near me, I'm picking it up and I'm knocking your ass out. So I didn't want to see it get to where anybody could say that black man was abusing or hurting a white woman. So I can appreciate the fact that he was able to control himself that much where it didn't turn into that. Um, but I can kind of see what you're saying. Like I don't believe that he's done yet.
No,
So
he's
it'll
not
be
done.
interesting
I
to
think,
see.
and I know what you're saying as far as that goes, but I think showing more like maybe her keeping the window up or him banging on the window, like, talk to me, something. The guy's just sitting there like, and of course, I'm glad he wasn't mad at the guy because, like you said, Zach has nothing to
Yeah.
do with it. But
Right.
it was just tripping me out. Like, I was like, is that all we're gonna get? That's really all
Hmm.
he gets is that mad and he goes in the car and cries. That's it. That wasn't enough for me to say it's over. Like, I wanted something to say it's over. And when he said,
Okay.
I'm disconnecting your phone, and you find out that he didn't, I was just like, see, he's not done. She's still texting. She's still on her
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
phone.
She still has
She's
that
still
phone, yeah.
doing stuff, you know?
Hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, the whole thing just annoys me and I want it done. I don't want to see them ever. I don't even want to see them on Life After Lockup. Like, I just want it done.
Now they've shown the promo, so they're gonna be on there. But under what capacity, I don't know. But they were on the promos. So let's get our male perspective. Sean tends to, he gives us a new light to things. What do you think?
Well, maybe the phone was still on because the phone company was off. It was closed. So, it takes a day or two to disconnect. But yeah, I don't think he's done with her. I don't think he's done. I think he's
No,
gonna
not yet.
text him. Let's talk. He gonna run over or say wherever you want to meet me at. But I was at first. I was a little proud of him. They did jump out the car and then he addressed her.
Yeah.
But I personally think that he did it on the man's side, hoping that Zach would come out the car and then that way he could take his frustration out on Zach. And then that way he beat Zach up and she can see that he's the better man. So,
Yeah.
but, and then I wouldn't, because I saw the teddy bear and then the other stuff he was throwing out was those sneakers.
Some shoes.
There was
Yeah, I
some
wouldn't.
shoes, some flowers. I couldn't tell what else it was.
Yeah, because
But
Was the
were they,
bear in the
maybe they
box?
were, I think they were her used shoes
oh,
because she even
Oh.
threw them away, like when he went
Yeah,
and picked
she
her up.
threw it all away. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to remember, again, the time frame is only a few days. So I
oh,
think when he
True.
went and picked her up
oh,
and
that's
he got her shoes, she put her old shoes in the box. So I
Oh.
think they were old shoes because they didn't look new
but
when
he
she
brought
threw
her
them
around
out.
the whole week with her old shoes in the car.
Yeah, he was stuffing all the stuff of her stuff in the trunk.
As soon as she
Yeah,
called,
that's a little. His
hmm,
car might have smelled like corn chips then.
Yeah,
Hmm.
So
probably
maybe it's a
did.
good thing. Maybe that's
uh,
how he remembered the shoes was back there. It's like,
that's
you
how
know what? I'm gonna get rid of these corn chip shoes.
Right, right. I do think they were used shoes, like I said, because she switched into her new shoes in his car,
True. That's right.
and I think they were her old shoes.
uh,
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
you're
I
right
went
with
through
that.
those into Zach's car.
That's
Yeah,
what he should have did. Threw everything into Zach's car. Like, oh, you could take her and her things and her trash.
And them
Whatever.
corn chip shoes.
Yeah, yeah. Let them stank up your car, Zach.
uh,
Exactly.
yeah,
As a matter of fact,
right.
I'd have threw them in the back seat so he gotta even dig to get them.
Yeah, but one thing that annoyed me, like the one part that annoyed me, was when she was in the confessional and she was like, "It's about time he's just stopped letting me run all over him." That's what I've been wanting to see. No, you don't. You've been wanting to see him like that so you can continue to get whatever it was you wanted.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she
That's
even
just
said it turned her on.
yeah. That's what I was
hmm
going to say.
yeah.
He turned her
And I
on.
was like,
That.
really? So the fact that this guy
True.
takes care of you, the fact that he's doing for you and trying to make sure you're good isn't enough of a turn on. You want him to get, like, it's almost like she does want him to get physical. She likes seeing him get angry.
Yeah, but maybe that's the type of relationship she's had, but that's not healthy, and she needs to get some help with that.
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't be wanting to see a man lose his cool. That turns you
Yep.
on to see him lose his cool. No, that's something toxic that you got going on,
Mm.
girl.
I like what Sean said just now. Look, it turned him on for who? What'd
I
you say,
know.
Sean?
But she left with Zach.
So it turned him
Hmm.
on for Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
and
of
so
course
they
she
showing
said.
scenes. She drove off with Zach. I'm not sure they didn't show if Deontay saw that part, but she did drive
Nah, he
off
was
with
too
Zach,
busy cleaning.
and she returned the next morning with Zach. But when she returned, her mom and her stepmom were outside waiting for her, and she walks up trying to act all dumb, like, "Oh, why are y'all looking at me like this?" And her mom, tells her, that you've been wrong, and that I woke up in the middle of the night to hear an argument outside. And I see Deontay and Zach, and you're in the car with Zach. And her mom told her, just, you were wrong. And you
Yeah.
played with him. And she also asked Nicole, she was like, so you need to make us a decision. Who are you going to choose? And she's like, because I know you've also been talking to Tia too. I was like,
Mm.
oh, mom going all the way there.
Hmm.
Yeah, but she doesn't care. She's totally into, and that's fine. It's fine for you to be in a situation where you have options and you can do whatever, but you should never play with people's emotions. And
Hmm.
that's what she's
Right.
doing with Deontay. I feel like Zach has the 100% story now since Deontay confronted her in front of him. So I
Yeah.
don't know how much she could have wiggled out of that. And then Tia, I don't know how much she told her while in jail because Deontay and her were still talking when her and Tia were in a relationship. So
Hmm.
to me, it's like everyone else knows the truth but him. And I really hate
Hmm.
that narrative. It really drives me crazy.
Mhm.
Where
Mhm.
did Nini go? Oh, there she
Oh,
is.
here I am. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Because I like how she was saying that it was a whole lot easier. Love was a whole lot easier in prison than it was outside. It's like, well, it could be easy to just choose one and go about your business. But
Hmm.
right.
she wanted got a side chick, side dude, and a main dude. Or
Yeah.
two
And a
side
side
people
chick.
at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so the main dude, he's the money guy. Zach, obviously, since she slept with him, that's the man she wants to be
Yes,
her.
and she revealed that
Yeah.
she slept with Zach while she was out there with him,
Uh-huh.
And I
which,
don't like that narrative either because she sat there and said how Deontay was pressuring her. He was
Right.
not
yes.
pressuring her.
So
I thought
that
that was
was,
jacked up.
yeah, so that
Yeah.
was another reason why I was glad that he didn't become aggressive with her when he was yelling, that he stayed on the side of the car and didn't get in her face, because she would have swore up and down she was scared,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and that he was just doing too much. And yeah, because I mean, she definitely gave off that vibe when she made that statement. I'm like, oh no, she will set Deontay up. He needs to stay far away
Hmm.
from
He
her.
needs to stay
Like,
away,
hmm
but he's
Mhm.
not.
No.
I
Hmm.
just, mm-mm. I didn't like that narrative. I just, their
hmm
whole situation, I just don't like.
Wait,
hmm
I
And
got a side comment. It's kind of off subject on this, but
okay.
was anybody surprised at how soft the stepmom's voice was? I was like, she got such a petite, soft voice, but she looks so tough. I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
like when she
yeah,
started talking, I'm like, wait, that's not the mom still? I'm like, what? That's her. Well, I was kind of
yeah. She,
disappointed. I was like, that don't go.
yeah, and I
I'm like,
mean,
she's
both of
sweet.
them. Yeah,
She
her
don't look
mom and her
deep.
stepmom, I was I was pleasantly, I like seeing that they
Hmm.
stayed calm, even though you could tell, because I would have been mad. If my son, I have a son, if he was outside having some kind of romantic squabble with two girls in front of my house or my neighbors, you could have woken up my neighbors, could have actually gotten the police called to my house. So I was also pleased that they were able to keep their calm. I don't know that I would have.
I'm sorry, but I got a son too, and if they had two women out there fighting over him, I'd have been proud of like, go ahead, boy.
Oh wow. Well,
Boy.
Johnny, you got a
Uh,
girl. If there was two boys outside fighting over her, would you be proud? Or would you
No,
be
I'd
like, get
be hot.
uh-uh.
Just, but again, you have to remember their age.
Mm-hmm.
There were moments when I was in my 20s and did crazy things. So it's bound to happen, but I wouldn't be happy that it was happening outside my house.
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think, I mean, that part I think they were more annoyed with. And I know that and that's even what the mom said, she really can't tell that she's doing anything wrong.
Yes.
Like, she honestly doesn't feel like she knows that she's wrong in what she's doing.
And
Oh
you
yeah,
know your
she is
kids.
so wrong. And it's just crazy because the way she was talking to them and stuff, I was like, she doesn't get it.
She don't get it. And it's not, I don't even know that she doesn't get it. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, she's getting everything she wants. So why should she care about people's feelings?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just so callous to me, and I'm just like, oh, Deontay, just you got to cut your losses with this one. Whatever
Like,
she
how
got your
can you
house.
rewatch that episode, hear what happened, and still be with her? Like,
Yeah,
that
but
just
you
doesn't make sense to me. It
oh,
really just annoys me.
okay. So I'm about to give. I guess it's not necessarily a spoiler alert, but Deontay did an interview last week with a celebrity blogger, Sherelle's World. I gotta shout her out and give credit where credit is due. She did an interview with Deontay, and it's obvious he didn't have to say it. I don't believe that they're together now, but
Oh,
he has a lot of anger towards her. A lot of anger towards her. So I'm not for sure if it's because of what he's seen or she's done more. That I don't know. But I was like, wow,
Oh, well, I'll
yeah,
need
you're
to
not
watch that
hiding
because
this.
I hope so.
Absolutely. So I was like, wow. So yeah, so it'll be, I guess, interesting to see.
well,
I doubt it was this scene, so I'm thinking she must do something else. Maybe she's going to do something else that's going to upset him and finally put him there. But yeah,
well, I hope he's angry enough to leave that type alone.
Yes.
right,
Lord. Can we
right.
get you know what? If white girls is your thing, okay, can you get a brown head? A red head?
How about let's get one that wasn't in prison?
There you
Yeah,
go.
You
not in
know,
prison.
get one that's out in the free world, so you, as your relationship is growing, you can truly see,
Yeah.
what's going on. So absolutely. All righty, guys.
Have
So
they
our
said how
next,
old he is? How old is Deontay?
I think
33.
early 30s, wasn't it? I think
He's
so.
he early 30s because she's only 24, right?
Yeah, she's in her
Okay,
early
so
20s.
maybe he needs somebody older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's what I
Maybe
think.
late 20s, early 30s too.
Yeah,
Mm,
a working woman that goes to work, so anything
yeah.
extra he does for her, she'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think. And so this episode, it was titled Walk of Shame. So they showed Lisa and Stan, and the first clip we saw was Lisa struggling in those heels, walking away from Stan's house. That scene. Okay, so when the scene opens with Lisa and Stan, Stan is revealing that he hasn't seen Lisa since the fight.
Wait, wait,
And
wait. Can we go back right before he said that?
okay.
He was jumping on a little trampoline.
Yes. I was
I
like,
was
look
like,
at him working out.
I just wasn't expecting that to be part of his workout. I was like,
I'm sorry.
Uh,
I'm just rethinking that trampoline because I was laughing hysterically at that trampoline.
I couldn't. I was like, so when they went to the weights, I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was like,
Yeah,
that is not your workout. That ain't
yeah.
your workout. All right,
So
I'm
apparently,
sorry.
yeah. And then
it's
so
cardio.
apparently Lisa had to call Stan because Stan, he's stubborn. Stan is very, very stubborn. So
Mhm.
again, he has refused to call Lisa. And so she ends up calling him. And apparently she straightened out. I know I'm always talking about somebody's hair. She straightened
Oh,
out her
yeah.
weave.
No, but it's not good.
Which I think she probably should have left it crinkly. I don't know what she was up to. And she's talking to him. She sends him the address to the hotel, and Stan has talked her into moving back to his house, which I think is a terrible idea. Absolutely terrible idea. So she says when she got out of prison, she had 3,500, and she's almost out of money now. And then she also reveals how she got the money. She said it
Yeah,
was from stimulus. Yeah, those were her
it
stimulus
wasn't his
payments.
money.
It wasn't his
Yeah,
money, yeah.
yeah, so she agrees that she's willing to move back in with him. And so Stan, goes to the hotel to get her. Now, it's true Stan fashion. He's got on this sweater. It looks like a Freddy Krueger sweater to me. That's the only thing I could think about. I was like, oh Lord, he's about to drive her up under the bed and snatch her. They so they arrive back at Stan's house and he's barbecuing. He decides to do some steaks on the barbecue. And he
Wait,
tells
no,
That was not a
no,
barbecue, girl. That
wait,
was the
wait.
crappiest grill. I was like,
Yeah,
after
yeah.
this,
I knew
We
y'all was
ain't gonna
gonna talk
not talk
about
about that little baby. That's a grill you
yes,
carry.
I
That's a
said
grill you
after
use if
that,
you
I
got
am
nothing but a little patio or something. You
that
ain't
is
allowed to have a real
the
grill.
man. I'm like, that man is not a millionaire. I'm sorry.
Wait.
There's
that.
just
Haven't
no
you been
freaking
the one
way.
saying he is a millionaire because
yeah,
he's cheap?
yeah.
No,
Now
no, I said
I
he's
gotta
a
be the
millionaire
devil's
on
advocate.
paper, but he doesn't have access to it.
You know
Well,
what,
yeah,
Johnny? I'm
no,
gonna
we
be
can.
the
That's
devil's
obvious.
advocate for Stan in this. Maybe he has a little one
That's
because it's
right.
been only him. Maybe I don't
No,
know.
He got to sit
I'm
on the
just
floor to
having it.
cook.
he
That ain't
had to
smart.
sit on the ground in the
Yeah,
garage.
Mm-mm.
yeah.
No.
His HOA won't allow them to have a grill, so he had to keep that small little thing. See,
Look,
problem solved. That's all.
you can
No.
get one for $50 at Walmart that stands up, and it
That
might
stands
be a little
up.
bit bigger than that, but it at least it stands up.
He
Wait,
liked to go camping. He liked to go camping, and he takes that little bit of grill camping with him. All right,
I'm
Now
that was,
set away and use it when you camp, not when you're in your house.
no. And then like when
Especially,
we
mm,
oh, I was just gonna say, especially if you're trying to wine and dine a lady,
Yeah,
you don't pull out your micro mini grill to
that
yeah.
do
was
it.
crazy. I
Like
was
And
the
you
sitting
meat
there
cooking
was
like,
real
hanging off the
food.
side.
but
Did you see that the meat
one
was
minute.
hanging off the side? The meat didn't even fit the grill.
no. I was like, that is horrible.
And you cooking real stuff. Like, I mean, he got asparagus, steak. Like, put that on a real grill. Like, or cook it in the house. Like, stop that. You know what I'm saying? When he said he was going to light the fire and I saw that, I was like, no, he just didn't. No,
That was
he
horrible.
didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
But
Yeah.
wait a minute now, because you had said that he convinced her. No, he didn't convince her to come over.
No, he didn't.
Well, no, she
Um,
wanted to, and you
yeah,
could
she
tell
wanted
because she
to.
was almost out of money, and
Right.
she knew she could call him and be able to run
She's
over there.
using him too
Because
now. She's using him.
yeah,
Yeah.
she is.
She kept saying like 8 months, was a long time, but then she kept talking about the financial and
Hmm.
the fact that when she was released, it was supposed to be at his house. So even though the parole officer understood what she was going through, she had to find a way to get back in his house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
absolutely. And then her whole energy towards him was different this time. She was trying to convince him that before she wasn't being affectionate to him because that's just not something that she's used to. So I'm like, oh, okay,
Lying.
so now you're slowly ready to do it. No, this is all for financial gain for you.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
You
all
know,
she's showing her true colors now. So
yeah.
So, so
And
with
then
that being said, Stan got to save his money. He ain't got time to buy no big grill.
nah,
He got
he
it's
needs
a
to.
grill. It's
It's a
not like you
no.
need to get a 6 burner stove, just a
I
bigger
would even
grill.
appreciated it if it was the kind that was on the stove top, with his dated stove, because his whole kitchen is dated.
It
That
is.
refrigerator, I was like, what the hell?
Mhm.
He's just proven more and more that if he's a millionaire, it's because he doesn't have access to his money. It's truly, in theory, on paper. It's not
Yeah.
in life. It's not like
Yeah.
he can touch it and use the money that he has because
Yeah,
there's
it
just
may
no
not be
freaking way.
liquid.
Yeah, there
Hmm.
you go. Thank you.
So I would
There's
have
no way.
appreciated it if he had to put that grill on the table or like lift it out the ground. You too old to be down there like that, man. You ain't gonna be able to get back up.
But she
Yeah,
said
and
she
then when
liked
she
him on
said
his knee.
that, she said that she likes seeing him on his knees.
Yeah.
Cause he
Yeah,
being
she was
submissive.
sending these, yeah, sexual innuendos, letting him know, oh, I'm ready to give it up now.
I
You
was like,
know,
you are such a prostitute. You have
yeah,
totally
No,
I
shown
believe,
your true
yeah,
colors now.
no, no. She liked him on the knees because he was cooking on that small grill. That's what it was.
Oh, come
She liked
on.
no, she,
that
She
that
said
was
small.
a
it.
sexual
She
innuendo.
said it.
Yeah.
Uh,
She said
Too,
she like a
after
submissive
this.
man. And she said, yeah. He liked to be
Hmm.
submissive.
well, I
Yeah,
guess I'm
and
gonna
he
go throw
said
away
he
my
lets her
grill.
take charge too. He did say that.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
still
So
confused on the garage and the basement. So maybe there really is a basement. It's just really little.
Yeah, I don't know.
it's
Cause that
probably
Because I
garage
the
and
thought
basement
they
it
were
didn't look like
gonna.
the same place.
Yeah, they don't show it, I guess, until next week. Because
Oh,
I
they
thought
do.
they were gonna show it, but they don't show it until next week.
yeah.
Yeah.
They just
Oh,
showed her holding it up, and
holding
I
it.
was just getting
Yeah,
freaked
and that
out.
thing was a lot bigger than I thought. I was like, is that full body? Like what what is
Yes, it's
that?
full body,
That
girl.
thing was long. I'm like, Man.
I
But I
think it was
also,
her costume.
yeah, I also think it was funny when he wanted her to, I guess work on the sides and guess their salad or whatever. And can y'all hear me?
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Sorry, just had a little issue with my sound for a second. Um, when he told her he wanted her to work on the sides or the salad or whatever, and she was like, she really didn't know what to do because she's not a cooker. And I'm like, oh, it was kind of a little funny to me. Like, girl, well, you out in the free world, you're gonna have to learn how to cook, girl, or do something to fend for yourself. But
Yeah, how do you
yeah,
not know how to make a salad? You tear
yeah.
up the lettuce. I think that's just the craziest of excuses, but okay.
Yeah. And then she went ahead and agreed to drink some champagne with him. I'm like, look, I have learned from watching y'all, he does not need any alcohol. Don't
No.
bring alcohol in the mix with him.
Mm-mm.
Can't drink with him.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Well, then again,
But
it really don't matter. Drunk or not, he gonna come out.
True, true, because
Yeah,
he
it
was
yeah,
doesn't
sober
matter.
last night.
And now she needs him. So
Yeah.
therefore she's
yeah,
gonna tolerate his foolishness because
yeah.
she
And
needs
then
him.
yeah, and then maybe she felt like she could tolerate it a little bit better if she's had something to drink too. Maybe.
Well, he
And
should have
then
had
Yeah.
it
something other than that.
yeah, and then it obviously wasn't good champagne because they both were kind of disgusted by it.
Yeah, I was like, look, you gotta give me some yak to go
Uh,
through this. I need the biggest bottle you can find.
mm-mm.
Yeah. So the
Yeah, sitting at
final
the
scene,
table. Mm-mm.
yeah. So the final scene with them was them look like heading to the basement or either to a closet. I can't tell in that house is so compact, but they were looked like they were heading off to the basement for some
To the
flooded
basement.
straight
Yeah.
jacket. Oh my god. That basement,
She
that
was
straight
so
jacket.
excited for that straight jacket, man. I don't even
Oh
want to know
Yes,
yeah.
what she does to him. I'm like, he was too excited for that.
Yes, he really was.
but she
He
did
really
say I
was.
have some stress to
Yeah,
relieve.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh
Cause
yeah.
She's
she
gonna
So
went
torture
in,
him.
I
like,
thought about
what?
you, Johnny, when she said that. I was like, oh, she's about to beat him and snatch
She
his
is.
toupee
She's
off.
gonna hurt that
That's
man.
what Johnny said
He
she was
liked it
going to do.
apparently.
uh,
He
Yeah.
felt like, woo. Every time she mentioned it, boy, he got happy.
Yeah. And she probably also figured out, he'll be a lot nicer and maybe more giving if she go ahead and just give in, even though
I
she
think so.
really doesn't want it.
Like he must got. I think he got some stress. He need to leave too, cause he just keep getting mad too quick.
He really does. He
At
really
least
do.
now, after they do what they do, if he still gets mad super quick and be like, "Get out!" Now we know that really is just him. It ain't the
That's just
stress.
him. Yeah,
mhm.
I think
Maybe
he.
he just full of stress. I don't know.
Yeah, he hadn't
Maybe.
been
Or he's
beaten in a
just
while.
backed
He
up.
needs a
Yeah,
beating.
he needs somebody to beat him and take the
Tell him,
strap on and hit him in the head and stuff.
hope he don't forget the safe word.
I
I know.
know.
Yeah.
It's been a
I
long
know.
time. It's been
Too
what?
Yeah.
excited. He's so excited he forgets the safe
Uh,
word. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He just in there yelling pineapple. She like, you didn't say pineapple juice. I didn't know.
Yeah, make sure she doesn't have earplugs in so she does hear it.
I
I
know.
know.
mm, mm,
Man.
I'm serious. He
Don't put the
better not
little
let
red ball
her.
in his mouth because he needs to be able to scream and yell his safe
Exactly.
word.
That and he does not need to wear a blindfold because she could be doing
So,
anything. Yeah,
mm.
so I don't
yeah.
know that I would have trusted her to
Yes,
go
he
down
is.
to the
We're gonna
basement.
be like, my hotel room was 250. Pow, pow.
Hmm.
You gonna give me 250 one way or the other?
Yeah. And these hair extensions.
Yeah, I know. I know because now I'm thinking she can pay for that too. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah,
she
and
done
did you
paid
notice
for
her
everything.
nails? I'm like,
Yeah,
that's where
she had
how the hell
nails.
you spend $3,500 in 3-4 days? I'm
Oh,
like, goodness gracious.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this allegedly. Now, we don't know if she got any kind of drug issues because if she has drug issues, she can blow through some money real quick.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
So I
because
don't
I
Yeah.
don't
know.
know how
She
frequently they're drug tested.
yeah. I mean she don't look like it.
Yeah, she
Like
don't look like it to me,
because
but
sometimes like Anissa's husband, Jeff, like he look like it, but
And let's all be
she look
honest, she's
good.
staying at the Hampton Inn.
Yeah.
Ain't costing no $1,000 a night to stay at the Hampton Inn.
Yeah, but
yeah,
the Hampton Inn can be pretty pricey though.
Not
Like
they're in St. Louis, girl. It ain't that pricey, trust.
Mm.
$119.
I've stayed up there a couple times. It ain't that expensive.
Mm-mm.
And that's free breakfast, so we know
It's
she
free
Yeah.
ain't paying for
breakfast.
breakfast.
Spending on
Yeah.
food.
That could have been another reason why she wanted him to come and get her. She was like, "Yeah, he gonna have some food for me."
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. So
uh,
the next couple we see is Doug and Rachel. So they're back because last week we didn't see them. They picked right back up with the same family drama that was going on when we had left. So little Dougie, he gets upset because his dad and his aunts, they're screaming back and forth, and he runs and gets in the car and shuts the door and shut himself in there. And then at one point Doug was trying to get him out, and little Dougie told him F you. So yeah, so of course that just escalates Doug and makes him even madder because now he's arguing with his sister. His son is talking to him crazy, and so while he had went to the car to check on Dougie, Doug's sister, I think that one was Ashley,
Hmm.
and I know their names is Ashley and Crystal, but I couldn't remember which one was which. But she starts talking to Rachel,
Crystal.
and she's
Yeah, Crystal's the color hair.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
Crystal. Okay, so Crystal starts telling Rachel, oh, you're seeing the real Doug and you're going to see worse and he's going to treat you bad. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. And, and Rachel was kind of like, well, what do you mean? But she wouldn't elaborate on it. She was just throwing out all these things. And so when Dougie does come out the car, Rachel is consoling little Dougie. And Doug is still arguing back and forth with his sister. He's cussing at her, just carrying on in a way. You could tell that Rachel was visibly upset. I know she was upset with, that watching little Dougie be so upset was bothering her, as well as it was bothering her the way that Big Dougie was behaving because he kind of wasn't even listening to her when she was trying to talk to him. And so they end up leaving. And as they're driving home, Lil Dougie's in the backseat crying, and he's saying he thought it was going to be different when his dad got out and was free. And that broke my heart too, because I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, Lil Dougie had expectations, and they're just falling apart in his face, and he's crying. At one point, they had stopped at a gas station, and Rachel had got in the back seat with him to console him. Um, and then once they make it home, the power is out. So Doug isn't able to plug up his ankle monitor. So he's doing it in the car and he's calling the probation officer, which I'm still wondering, how did Doug get away with that? It was like the probation officer wasn't even mentioning the fact that Doug had went out of town when he was supposed to be in the house.
Well,
Hmm.
no,
And
he can be out. Oh no, the
out on the week,
weekend.
yeah,
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
weekends.
You have permission.
Right. Right. And so he's explaining to his probation officer that he is in the car, but he's plugging up, and that's why he's in the car. Um, and then him and Doug and Rachel go into the house. The power is back on, and they start having a conversation. Right. And so Doug is basically saying that little Doug is out of control, and he wants little Doug to start getting disciplined basically and to get into control. But you could tell that Doug was he was raised not to be disrespectful to his elders, but little Dougie does it kind of easily. Um, but at the same token, I don't know. I feel bad for Dougie, and so Rachel does suggest counseling. He doesn't like that idea, and she does give him an ultimatum that his attitude needs to get better and his communication with little Dougie needs to get better. And she was sticking up for little Dougie, which I can understand. He's been through a lot. That little boy.
Hmm.
What did y'all think of that scene?
Well, first, I think it had to been a slap in the face to Doug because he was like, "I don't want to talk." When he was in the car before they left, he was like, "I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Rachel." So that's a slap in the face. Then, which rightfully so, she's been the one that's been nurturing and caring to him. You come back and it's nothing but drama. And like he said, he didn't anticipate it to be like this when he came out. Then with the scenes with the sisters, like I get why Doug was defending the sister that kept little Dougie, because I mean she did what nobody else was able to do or willing to do. But the part that got me was like when she was telling Rachel to keep Doug away. She said, 'Cause you bring him back to Kalamazoo, he's gonna cheat on you. He's gonna do this.
He's
And you know,
gonna
it is
use
some rumors
drugs.
out
Yeah.
there. I ain't gonna put it out, but rumors I done heard of stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, keep that man out of Kalamazoo. And then I did like, and Rachel's shown that she doesn't, you know what I mean, even though she's submissive to him in ways, she still stands up to him
That's
also.
right. She sure does.
And she I did like that she told him like if you can't get it together then you can get out because I mean you in her house. You disrespect
Hmm.
you coming back and you're you know what I'm saying, yeah, you're trying to adjust, but we're trying to adjust to you being here too. So don't think it's all about you. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Have respect for the other people in the house as well.
Right.
And plus, she providing him with everything. So really, he needs to tone himself down. I'm
And
sorry.
not
Like I
even
got it.
him.
He don't want a disrespectful son, but
Yeah.
you ain't raised him. So what do you think
No.
is gonna happen when you ain't raised your son? So don't be like, well, I wasn't like this with my dad. Well, your dad raised you. You didn't raise your son.
Right. And then he also needs to take into account Dougie has been in different homes. Each home is going to be a little bit different. So
Mm-hmm.
he's just doing the best that he can. Now, like I said, I understand him kind of to a certain extent saying that Dougie needs more discipline. But first, you need to reestablish your relationship with him, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
build that in. But to
Mm-hmm.
immediately come out where no, you're not going to be doing la la. How can you? Because we don't know how he behaved when he was at Crystal's house or Ashley's house. I can't remember.
Actually,
But
Yeah, actually.
Ashley's house, we don't know how that was. I'm pretty sure at some point he lived with his mom. We don't know how that was. So he needs to give this little boy leniency. He's doing, I think, he,
Mm-hmm.
he's trying. He's a little kid. So you also got to keep that into perspective too. You
He
know.
ain't that little. I
No,
mean,
he's not that little. He's not that
and
little.
he there,
not
But
you
he's
know,
been through a lot. He's
he
been
has
through a
been
lot.
through a lot. He has been through a lot, and I totally understand that. However, you never tell your parents or tell an adult to F you and F off. Like,
Hmm.
I don't care how much my child has been through. As soon as the F word even dropped, they would be waking up in a hospital bed because there's no freaking way I'm
mm,
going to let you talk to me like that. And I think he actually showed restraint with little
Yeah,
Dougie by allowing him to say that and not reacting probably the way he wanted to. But I think the whole thing is just all messed up. And he did express why he doesn't want to go to counseling. So I think with Rachel, she needs to kind of figure out another way to help him. Maybe figure out another way to work things out with Dougie because if you've had a bad experience with a counselor or multiple counselors like he's had, you're not going to trust and you're not going to open yourself to hear what they have to say or a suggestion of what to do. And I think
well,
that's something that she needs to think about because
well,
they put him
yeah,
on
now,
medication. They never
yeah,
really fixed the problems. They never really gave him solutions to help. They just
but
gave medicine. And then, of
yeah.
course, it just escalated from there. So
Well,
with
to kind of be the
Rachel,
devil's advocate on that one, I get it. He's had a bad experience with counselors, but he needs something. And I mean, I guess she was just trying to give him an example of something, but he needs something to help because he can't continue to run around and behave like this, and especially in front of his son. He wants his son to be well behaved. Well, you have to be a well behaved person, you know. But you
yeah,
sitting there screaming, cussing your sisters out, calling them all kinds of bitches and hoes in front of your son, but you expect him to behave differently.
right.
Like he has to do something. There's got to be something. And
Mm-hmm.
then you see that it's upsetting your wife. So try to do something to make yourself better to fix your family.
Oh, but when she told him that he could get the F out, if he
Hmm.
doesn't change, he never once went off on her. He never called her out her name. He just said, "Who are you talking to like that?" And she said, "I'm talking to you." And that too also showed the dynamic that he doesn't have respect for his sister, Crystal, because he didn't cuss out Ashley. He only cussed at Crystal. And he obviously has respect for Rachel because he didn't say anything after that or said, B, get out my face with that, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
okay. So let me make that clear. He did not cuss out Rachel. He did not cuss her out. But when they were at the family's house, like there was times where she was trying to say stuff to, calm the situation, and he wasn't listening to her at all. And that's what she was saying to him, like, you weren't listening to me. He was like, I listened to you all the time. And she was like, but you weren't. And he didn't. He wasn't. He was just angry in a way that was kind of scary, But
Yeah, because that anger normally is what gets him in jail.
Right.
And then the sister, of course, Crystal, she even said that he'll be in jail in 60 days because he doesn't stay out long. And I think that's something else that people aren't really keeping in mind either in these situations, how
hmm
long they've been in jail. Like it's not like he's uh socially taught. Everything he's learned or everything that he's become has been because of him
yeah,
being in jail.
absolutely.
So obviously he didn't have the best growing up life. Majority of his adult life has been in jail.
hmm
And I just don't see how you think someone's supposed to act totally different when they come out.
But that's what I say about little Dougie. Like this dude been from home to home,
Hmm.
and if you listen to how they talk, like they probably maybe they grew up with that respect for the father, or maybe they would never talk to the dad like that, or maybe even the mom.
But
But
it's they talk to each
he's
other like that, and
seeing,
Dougie
yeah,
has seen
this is
that.
what he's
Yeah.
seeing. So like, yeah, like you may not your kids may not do that to you because you taught them that, but has he really been taught to be that way? And I feel like maybe the person he's becoming is a better person because he's not in that environment right now, Dougie, little Dougie. But when it comes to him seeing his dad disrespecting his family and all that stuff, that's probably why he you know what I mean, like snapped on him or cussed at him. And I ain't saying it's okay because by any means, I wouldn't, no kid would be talking to me like that either. But um, when you've been a absentee dad, like you really don't have a say. That dude don't respect him is reasons why.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because he needs to work on the relationship with his son.
Yeah. So what
Hmm.
do
Right.
you think
And
from a
once
father's perspective, Sean? What do you think?
and once well, he needs to work on the relationship with his son and sit down, talk to him, and try to build a relationship. Then he can eventually talk to him. However, well, still at that point, the son shouldn't be disrespecting the father, cussing at him too.
Hmm.
And I
And
think, uh,
go ahead.
sorry, Sean.
Mhm.
Well, I'm just picking back off of what you're saying. I think when Dougie said F you, he could have said, I understand that I haven't been around, but you're not going to talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he never even put his foot down enough to let him know that what he said was inappropriate.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
that's why he's able to get away with what he gets away with. Yes, we can feel um you can definitely feel bad for him. It obviously also shows that Ashley didn't do that good of a job with him
Hmm.
if he's acting like that, you know? And maybe that what Crystal was saying about how Ashley treated him poorly is true.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be true, but then it could also just be that Dougie is frustrated and upset. It's like neither one of my parents are around. I'm getting bounced around from house to house. My aunt Ashley has allowed me to go to this lady's house. She hasn't even came back to get me or anything, which that is something else that's just strange to me. It's like, how did you allow your nephew to leave? Because let me tell you, my sister, she wouldn't have allowed my son to go anywhere and just be gone. Like she wouldn't have probably allowed if they said we're going to take him for an hour. My sister would have been all over them. So it's been, and I'm not justifying him saying "f you" to his dad because I feel like that's completely out of line. And then
Hmm.
I'll say for myself, like my son, I'm not gonna allow him to talk to me like that. But my son also has never been in that situation or anywhere close to that situation. He's always lived with me and been with me. Um, so I don't know. I just think there's a lot to unpack with this family,
Mhm.
and I think all of them need to go to counseling, to be honest with you. I think all of them do. And there seems to be a lot of drug use in this family. Um, yeah, I don't know.
But we know
It's
he's
just
not going to counseling.
hmm.
We know Doug, you're not going to counseling.
Yeah, Doug has made it clear he don't want to go.
And I can agree with him because I have my issues with counselors and I just don't.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
counseling
what do you,
isn't for everybody.
yeah, so what do you think would be a good alternative for
That's
them?
right there for him. I don't know for him because Seeing how he's in and out of prison, he's used to that lifestyle, and then
Mhm.
like he's trying to put that on his son. Because how Rachel even pointed that out, that he's treating Dougie like he's an inmate, but that's the only lifestyle he knows. So
Right.
and while he was in prison, I don't know if it was mandatory for him to seek counseling there or some type of intervention to help him to. Cause I know the whole jail system is all messed up. It's
It,
supposed to
it
go down.
really is. I'm getting the feeling that he did not have any kind of counseling because he goes from 0 to 100 real quick.
Mm,
Um, in a way that I'm like, is it necessary to get that mad sometimes, Doug? But you know what? He was showing some of these signs when he was in jail, though.
yeah,
You
because
know,
he
with
needs
the
to
way he
find
was
peace
talking to
within
Rachel.
himself first.
Hmm. Absolutely, yeah. So that was kind of where they ended with, with Rachel just giving him basically an ultimatum, and then we roll into Anissa and Jeff.
Mm,
So Um, we find out what Jeff's secret is. So Jeff revealed to Kyle that his ex-girlfriend Christine had reached out to him while he was in prison and had told him she has an 18-year-old child that she completely believes is his. So while he was in the halfway house, he got a DNA test done. So I'm wondering, I think y'all already probably know where my mind is going. So that weekend that he couldn't see Anissa, maybe he was getting the blood test done.
I'm sorry. Am I the only one who's confused on this timeline? Am I the
What do you
only
mean?
one? Because all of he said, okay, first he said that he knew he had a kid, but then once he went to jail, she said it wasn't his and never contacted him again. Now she's come back up, contacted him, said it was his. He took a DNA test. I'm sorry, don't DNA tests take a few weeks?
Mm-mm, a few days.
A few, oh, is it, it's new now? It's only a few days now?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind with that. But even still with the 18 years, I
Yeah,
thought,
but you know something. I think he was in that halfway house longer than what we can tell.
uh-huh.
That's what I'm almost thinking. Because usually when you go, I can't imagine that they just release you and you go to a halfway house for 1 week and then you're out in the free world. So I'm thinking maybe that there was a time lapse there, but we're not catching that. Maybe.
Yeah, because I was totally confused. And then 18 years. Didn't he say he saw Christine when he first got out the first time 10 years ago?
Well, he said Christine is his first love. So apparently he got her pregnant back 18 years ago.
So when he got out, though, didn't he mention that he went and saw her when he got out the last time?
I think he did, but I can't really remember.
So then the
But
kid
I
would have
remember
been
she told.
13, and you didn't think to say anything about your 13-year-old son when you were staying with her then? Like, the whole story doesn't make sense. I don't think the kid is 18. I think the kid is like 4 or 5.
I don't think he
You see what I'm saying? Like, something just don't seem right about this whole thing. He's making it an
Yeah.
adult to make sure like she's not looking at the time frame maybe, but
Hmm.
it just seemed off.
I mean, if that was the case, that would totally make sense why every time he got out, he was running somewhere else because maybe he had a baby to go look and go check on or whatever.
Right.
So that would make a lot of sense on why he really wasn't trying to see Anissa. Um,
no,
if he
because he
has a
didn't know
small
about the
child.
kid. Because
Hmm.
according to him, the baby mama said that there's no kid going
Yeah,
about to.
she had picked up the phone and said, yeah, yeah, and had said that
So,
to him.
yeah, so he would be running back to her to check on the baby that's not here.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I'm saying. Like the whole storyline. I don't know if he's only feeding him that lie to see if he tells it.
Yeah, because I
Like,
don't think there's a kid. I think that's what.
yeah,
Oh,
you
you
think
don't think there's a kid?
you
No,
don't think there's a kid at all?
no,
Okay.
no. Because like
I
you broke down that storyline, the time frame.
Yeah, the time frame doesn't add up. First and foremost, that was my whole thing. I was like, I'm totally confused because I swore he said he saw this lady when he got out the first time or the second time. Like he just saw her,
Yeah, and
and
I do
I
believe that he just saw her because he's still in contact because she was calling him when he was sitting outside eating breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's not like it's just a surprise all of a sudden. If
Yeah.
this child is 18, quote unquote, uh, when you saw her a few years ago, that child would be what, 13?
Mm-hmm.
And now it just, his whole story didn't make sense. That's why I was like, okay, is he just telling this story to throw him off so he can see how much he'll keep his secret?
Yeah.
I really don't understand, because I don't recall, and I could be wrong, but I don't recall him saying anything to her at the breakfast.
Yeah.
Did it ever come out at the breakfast?
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Because I'm thinking he told him that story so that when what's the friend name? Well, when the friend
Kyle,
Kyle.
Kyle,
Kyle.
well, he told Kyle, so Kyle would run and tell Elisa, and then that
Mm-hmm.
way him and Kyle would get into a fight, and then Elisa have to choose. Either you choose to have keep your friend Kyle, and
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. That's an
so you
interesting
don't,
way to look at it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he don't want to get married. So if
He
she
doesn't. Yeah.
Kyle, then he'd be like, yeah, I'm out the hoop. I ain't got to marry this crazy woman. And if she choose him, then Kyle's out the picture, and then he got Anissa to himself, and he don't have to worry
Yeah.
about her running to him every time he messes up.
Yeah. I
So,
think there's something sneaky with that too. Like,
Mhm.
he's
Yeah.
gonna try and pinpoint her against him, against Kyle.
Yeah.
Because I think Kyle is gonna tell her, and then he's gonna be like, "I never
Mm-hmm.
told him that. I told you he wants you, like you guys think."
mm,
And he's
Yeah,
just
because
trying to
Kyle's
break
been
us
hitting
up.
it. Yeah. Kyle's been hitting it while Jeff was in prison. Yeah. So I mean, those are two great thought processes on it. That he may have a little child, or maybe there is no child at all. Because I know I kept wondering, like, does he have any additional kids other than this 18-year-old, or would this have been his first child? Like, what's going on?
Well,
yeah,
then
That
too,
was my
he
thought
almost
process.
said something about a daughter, because he said she. He it was almost like he was referencing a daughter too, and I was like, "What? I'm so confused."
mm-hmm.
Maybe
I,
he has an 18-year-old girlfriend
daughter.
slash lover or something.
Oh, yeah, that's possible.
Because the whole
Yeah.
18 the kid by another woman a long time ago, I was like, I don't see why that's such a big hard thing to say. Because
Mhm.
she knows he had a life before, and
Right.
Yeah. That was my thought process, was like, why would she be upset, or why are you scared to tell her when, I mean, that was way before her.
right,
So what did you think of this scene, Reese? What did you think of the scenario?
Um, well, I mean, I agree that he just trying to set Kyle up somehow because he said if Kyle goes and tell, then Kyle will be out of Anissa's life. So he got plans to get rid of Kyle. And then I didn't think about really the timeline too much. So it makes sense. I think either y'all right, it's either a little child, which would make more sense on why she would be mad,
Mm-hmm.
or it's no child at all and it's just all a setup. So I'm in agreement on that. Either way, he's sneaky, and then Kyle. I mean, I think Kyle just being a good friend, but Kyle, he seemed like that little snitch. Like to me, Kyle is doing too much anyways. Because why are you over there with them eating breakfast? Like get out there, man.
Yeah.
Like he ain't been
Because
home
he's
long.
look, because he's used to being over there and being all up under Anissa like
Hmm.
that. That's where that's coming from, because he's just way too comfortable with the way he's
yeah,
doing
Yeah,
things.
like the fact that she got to go and fix him a plate now.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
She
feel like
went
okay.
and
you
fixed him a plate.
think that Jeff would feel some kind of way. Like most men probably be like, "Hold on, I just got back. Here you go fixing this." Why does he can go fix his own plate first of all?
Yeah, why are you
Second of
fixing his
all,
plate?
he don't need to sit down and have breakfast with us. We can go talk to him after we finish eating.
Yeah.
We're in
He
the middle of
sees
an
her
intimate
eating, he needs to
conversation.
go home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you were little and it was time for you to eat, and you're like, your parents are like, your friend's got to go home now.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, you can go home and come back once we're
mhm.
done eating.
Yeah, yeah. So he's accustomed to being there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He too
Yes, and he's
comfortable.
accustomed to getting meals apparently, and she's
Uh-huh.
accustomed to fixing his plate.
It's
And
breakfast.
you got to
So,
break that up.
Hmm.
Yes,
she's
yes.
probably fixed the
So,
dinner too.
yeah. So the next scene, they have a visitor. They have Penny. One of Anissa's friends comes over, and she asks Jeff a couple of questions. Like, she's like, have you had a job before? And Jeff's like, no, he's never had a job before. And then he proceeds to say, that he wants to get a job and he's going to use every penny to fix his teeth, and then he's going to buy a motorcycle, and then he really wants some Gucci jeans. Even Anissa had mentioned these Gucci jeans that he wants, and he says he's always worn designer clothes, always. So that's what he plans on keeping up. So what I was bothered by is like, okay, so this woman has taken care of you while you was in prison. And now that you're out and you can get a job, you're making it very clear that I guess you're not contributing to that household. You're gonna get your teeth fixed, you're gonna get a motorcycle, and you're gonna get some Gucci jeans. All about you. All about you.
Yep, he's the male Nicole.
Now the teeth, that might be the only thing I can go along with, but the rest of it,
Yeah,
like,
now,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. You know what? That's fine. You ain't got to help out financially here. Get your teeth fixed because you are embarrassing me with the teeth.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I
Them teeth
mean,
look like old country
everything
bumpers.
else, yeah, everything else you can work on. And do you really need some Gucci jeans? You can't wear some Levi's. Now, I
Mm-mm.
understand if he don't want to wear Wranglers. I can understand that. But
Mm-mm.
Girl,
But
I would get him some freaking Arizona jeans, take off that tag, and stitch Gucci on there. No,
yeah, I
would he
guess
really know?
that
mm,
orange jumpsuit was Gucci too,
You know, put some
right.
bedazzle on there, sprinkle some glitter dust on there, make it look like it came from a
yeah,
just
you
went to
know,
a Gucci store and figure out how to make puts. I don't know, is Gucci the one with the red and the
Hmm.
green?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
The
put
red and
some
green.
red green sprinkles in there.
Now we know she got the sprinkles now.
Yeah, we do from that doggone spine.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So my thing is, maybe they touched on it and I've just forgotten. But how long has Jeff been in and out of prison? Is it his entire adult life? How is it he's never had a job? How was he able to pay for designer
Yeah,
clothes? Like, what is his
'cause he
backstory?
was
That's what
stealing
I want
them.
to know.
Yeah, I don't
Oh, he
know.
was
That's a good.
okay. He might have been. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, he maybe. So, what did you think of that scene, Sean?
Well, I never had any other. I always had designer jeans. Yeah, so I can.
Oh, okay. So you understand that the need
Yep,
for that? Yeah.
yep. I had Levi, uh, never Wrangler. But yep. So he got to have the style. He got to keep up with the latest trend. So
You
one of
know
them
what?
got to have, one of them have to have some class now.
Now, for
True,
me,
that
I
is
felt
true.
like, yeah, like you're talking about your designer clothes and rocking Gucci jeans. Clearly, Anissa doesn't dress that way. So
Mhm.
how's this gonna work out? You need to be helping her get on that same level too, then. But
Hmm.
I also felt like things that he was naming was almost part of a getaway plan, get away from Anissa. Yeah, if I can get my teeth fixed, get a motorcycle, get me some flashy clothes. Oh yeah, I'll be able to spring this joint real quick.
True.
Yeah, and I won't be forced to put out twice a night.
Because that's how he's contributing to the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, by putting
Oh
out
yeah.
twice a night.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. He's paying with his Johnson, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Until he
All
get
right.
tired of it.
Yeah. All right. So then we saw Ray and Brittany. Right. Okay. So the scene opens. They're in bed. I'm not for sure. It seems like it's not that same first day, but I can't really tell. Um. And so she is bragging about Ray's bedroom abilities.
Mhm.
Um. I don't know, especially with this day and age and social media, I don't think I would have been, even if it was the best that I ever had. I don't know that I would have said that on TV because then somebody's gonna slip in his DM
Hmm.
and you can start having that problem because you put that out there.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say that I would have been like, oh, it was terrible, but I think I would have been coy about it, you know. All right,
Hmm.
so Brittany reveals to Ray that she feels judged by his grandmother because his grandmother says she wants to come and bring some food over to the house, which is understandable. All right, and she's just showing her feelings towards Ray's grandmother, which I have a feeling is going to end up being an issue because you could tell he's close with his grandmother, but Brittany doesn't like her, doesn't want her around. That's the vibe she's giving out. And then while they're in bed talking, she continues to lie to Ray about her parents and what they know of him. She continues to do it. All right, and so Brittany starts cleaning up the house because she finally agreed that the grandma can come. She starts cleaning up the house because she says she feels like she's about to be judged as soon as the grandma comes in. She just keeps making all these snarky comments, and you could tell they're kind of bothering Ray, but he's letting it go. All right, and so Ray's grandmother, she comes over. She has food and clothes, and the fact that the grandmother brought clothes just really aggravated Brittany. She's like, your grandma's acting like I just got you over here running around butt naked. Well, that's what you would like from him, to be honest
Hmm.
with you. But I mean, Brittany needs to just knock it off. So, what did you guys think of this scene and Grandma questioning Brittany?
She's a grandma.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She's seen his whole life. She has every right to pop up whenever the hell she feels like it. And ain't a damn thing you can do about it. That's his grandmother. She hasn't seen him in how many years?
Yes,
Cuz how
exactly.
long was he locked up? 4 or
He was locked
5?
up for 4 years, I think it was.
4. Yeah, so she hasn't seen him for 4 years. He's out with a woman she doesn't know and who she already feels like something's off with her because
Mm-hmm.
she's dating men who are in jail. And she has every right to check and make sure that he isn't tied up to somebody's bed being used as a sex slave, since you want to broadcast on everybody's all out in the world how wonderful he is in bed. Because guess
Right.
what you find wonderful, someone else will too, and they will get at him now because you didn't sat here and said he's got good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Craziness. Girl, I would have been on TV talking about, oh, it's the worst thing I've ever had. What have I done?
Look, I would have been like Candace. You remember when Andy asked Candace on a reunion, um, how's your sex life with Chris? And she's like,
Yeah,
oh, we have a decent time.
a
We have a
decent
decent
time.
time.
That's how it wasn't even, I wouldn't even say it was decent because I would still give hope.
Right. It was
But
decent
yeah,
for
she
her, but I
is.
can turn it up a notch.
I you could tell with Ray though, he was very annoyed that her family doesn't know much about him.
Hmm.
And I love that the grandma came back with her on that too. You know, because
Yeah.
he wasn't answering the questions. When she was asking Brittany about her family and what did they think of their situation, and Brittany
Hmm.
was honest with her. I think she felt like she kind of had to be because she had already told Ray, so she couldn't lie to his grandmother.
Yeah.
And I really liked that she called her out on all of that. So
Hmm.
the grandmother, Brittany needs to calm it down. She
She
needs
does.
to get her family on board if this is really a man you love and want to be with,
Hmm.
and keep it moving because he is starting to feel like you're ashamed of him.
Yeah, and he actually wants to meet your family and try to establish that relationship, and that's good because that shows his intentions.
Right. That's what he
I mean, Jeff
wants.
isn't trying to do that.
Yeah. Nope. He sure isn't. So I wish.
Stan is not trying to do that. So,
Nope.
I mean,
He's not trying to
yeah.
meet your kids, you know. But
Hmm.
I think, I hope she figures it out before she loses him because I don't. You can tell family is important to him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, Reese, what did you think of the scene?
I thought some of it was kind of funny. It's like
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh Lord," now she thinking this. Oh Lord, she think like I'm like she's so
Well,
paranoid about that grandma. That
she's
grandma probably is just like, okay, I just want to make sure my grandson good. Like
Exactly.
all the
yeah.
stuff she thinking, I feel like is extra in her head.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The house was clean from what I saw, so I don't know why she was acting extra about that either. But
Hmm.
I mean, I do like it's been 2 months from what they showed in a little flashback of the parents talking. So I'm like, maybe, they've had time to know that, I mean, and I think if it's been 2 months and you still haven't even mentioned that he's at the house, you still playing with fire because that's going to be another anger that, you know what I'm saying? At least at
But you know
some
what?
point she should have admitted that he's been at the house or he was coming to the house at some
Yeah.
point because
But you know
now
what?
you resetting the timeline because they were like we don't even want him. I'm not even ready to meet him, and now when they find out he been at the house the whole time,
But
even though
you
it's
know
only been a
what?
week or so.
I don't think he's been at the house for 2 months. I believe because he went to the halfway house too. So
Oh
he was
yeah,
there for a
yeah,
while. Yeah.
yeah. But
So I think it's been
while he
two
was
months
at the
since their
halfway house,
conversation. Yeah, she could have told them then.
She should have been at some point between when he got out and when he was in the halfway house. I feel like she should have at least admitted to her parents that he's going to be staying at her house, because
Hmm.
now you're resetting the timeline of them not wanting to meet him. Whereas at least, you didn't give them that chance to accept that you've been dating him for 9 months. Then now they
Right.
had this other 2 months to accept that you're dating him. But now you're gonna hit him with the wrench of, oh, and he's living with me. So then they're gonna be like, we don't forget him. You know what I'm saying? I think she should have
Yeah.
said something between that 2 months and now, because at least that could have been
Yeah.
more time of them to get used to that fact too. Because
Yeah.
it's her
You
house.
make
I
it.
mean, at
Yeah,
the end of the
you make a
day.
great point with that. That it's going to end up resetting the time or frustrating them where they don't want to
Hmm.
have anything to do with them at all. So I think you
Yep.
brought up a great point there. So what do you think, Sean? Being a man, you done got out of prison, and your woman is hiding you from her family.
Well, I would think that she is ashamed of me, and that she really don't want her people to know anything about me. Uh, but
Right.
but my thing is with Brittany is that um, clearly he wants to meet the family and have something to do with the family. But she don't want to have anything to do with the grandmother. Because I'm like, well, that's what it come off as, that she don't want to have
Yeah.
anything with their family. But her excuse for why she didn't tell her family was, well, we're going to get to know your family first, and then after we get to know your family, then I'll bring my family into the picture.
Yeah, that was
But
what was
the
crazy.
family,
But then,
yeah,
did you
yeah,
also catch where she was saying that his family didn't need to come around so soon? Did you
right,
Yeah.
get that? I
right.
was like, what?
Yeah, and then she pointed out that that was the grandbaby, well, he's the first grandchild,
Hmm.
and and I have one grandchild now, and she's the first, and right now she's the favorite. So when she get older, of course I'm gonna want to have to meet her people, and want to know if she's going to be involved with some psycho person or what. And I can feel that the grandmother was probably coming in to check out the house and be judgmental, because I would be.
Oh,
Because I would look
absolutely.
around and be like she said, what kind of person wants to be with someone that just got out of prison? So
Right.
yes,
But it's funny because you could tell Brittany was sizing up Ray's family's house. So she should expect that they would come to her house and size her up too.
uh-huh.
Right.
You know, but
Brittany is a very insecure person.
Hmm.
She needs
oh
to get
yeah.
over herself, and she
Yeah.
needs to, if this is a relationship that you really want and not a dictatorship. Because I think what she thought is that he was just going to be stuck at her house and he wasn't going to have contact with the outside world. No, that's not how that would work. And he, because of his circumstances growing up, he does have family who cares about him, who
Hmm.
wants to know that he is good because of what
Yeah.
he's been through. So you can't expect him to be just locked up with no one. He does have people who care.
Yeah,
Maybe
She
next
messed
time
up and
get a
got a
guy.
good inmate.
Yeah, maybe next time get a man, get a jail man who has no family, and then you
Yeah.
can lock him up and keep him in your sex dungeon
it's
bedroom.
Yeah,
don't mind
you know
staying
what? She
home for
needs
a
to talk
minute.
to Stan. That's who she needs to talk
She
to. And
does.
Stan can tell her how to get a man with low self-esteem and, who doesn't have family to come in and interfere with your basement time or whatever. That's what yeah. Because, I mean, she's just way too controlling and,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because what's she gonna do when he get a job?
oh, she won't let him. She'll probably take care of him, pay his car note and everything so he won't leave.
Hmm.
She
That's
can't
what
let
the
him get a
vibe's I'm
job
getting
now.
from.
She done told all the women of the world how great his
Uh,
thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
uh, uh,
It
uh,
opens up a whole new avenue.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Because women they'll overlook some things when the sex is good, so they'll
Hmm.
overlook some things, like overlook the fact that he's with you
Hmm.
to get at him. So you got to be careful with that.
And
Got
then
to be
I mean, he's not a bad looking dude. He seems real down to earth, like he's real laid back
Yes.
too, and he's a family man, and he's, you know what I'm saying? So this is what people are seeing, and you just said he the best you ever had. Now, I don't know if that speaks a lot, but heck, it's enough to
I
get
know.
somebody's attention. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
'cause I don't
Right.
know what the best she's ever had, what she comparing it to, but that
Right.
speaks volumes. Like, so now you saying like This dude is showing that he's not. When you watch the show, of all of them, he's the most
Calm.
level-headed,
Yeah.
sane seeming one, most
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
Um, Granted, I know we still got more time, like more stuff to come out, but for now, from what we've seen up until this point, like he seems to be the most normal. And now you know, okay, he's not a bad guy from what it seems. We know his background story, which isn't like, oh, he's just a drug addict just because he a bum. You know, we know what caused all this stuff.
Right.
He loves his family. His family love him.
Hmm.
He ain't coming from a broke family, and he's amazing in bed. Like, come on now, you didn't sold this man to the
I
world, and just
know. You
Exactly.
sold him very well.
You
and so
did.
now she ain't got no choice but to chain him to the bed, really. Cause
Yeah, that will
yeah,
be the next thing. We'll start
yeah, and
hearing
then she
stories
probably want to put bars on it because when she go to work, they might be coming through the windows to
through
get
the
Exactly.
that man and
window.
chain him to the bed.
Yep. Yep. Oh, can we take a second to talk about how cute her dog is? I don't know. I thought he was the cutest little thing, but
Well, it
but
was a bulldog, right?
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
he looked like maybe he was a French bulldog, I think.
Yeah, he was a
But yeah,
cutie.
he's cute. He was a cute little dog.
I mean, I like little dogs, so he's a bit big to me. But I mean, it is a nice. It is a very good looking dog. Like I feel like for that type of dog, yeah, he is cute.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Seems well behaved, I guess.
He
yeah,
is.
he
He's super
does. Well,
trained.
she controlled all the badness right out of that dog, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad thing because he ain't a little
It's
dog.
not
So if he up in
necessarily.
there tearing her
Yeah,
house up, I'd be mad. So
Yeah, you know what?
yeah.
Maybe I need to hire Brittany to come train my
I
dog.
know. Look.
I think she would make an excellent dog trainer.
Mhm,
Lord
mhm.
knows I need it.
Oh, like, and so then we have our final couple. I wish like they showed all the couples last night. So the last couple, Courtney and Josh. I'm becoming worried about them. So the scene starts off. She asks Josh for sex. Josh is like, "How about later?" And so also tells her, he doesn't feel like it. He can't get it up. which I just fell out laughing. I'm like, he is willing to say anything not to have sex with her at this point. Girl, you can do that. Why? He doesn't enjoy the sex. And so she expresses her disappointment in their lack of sex and affection because their 14 days is almost up. And she says they've only had sex like 3 times.
Mm,
And so he lets her know that he's having a hard time living with someone else. And that when he was in prison, he was in a cell by himself. So, that's kind of bothering him. And then he says when he tells her that she's doing something he doesn't like, she continues to do it. And, she threw in his face, which I didn't necessarily like, but she threw in his face that, she gave up her job for him.
Right.
mhm.
You know, if you did all this for love, like you've been saying, why are you throwing this in his face?
Multiple
Right.
You know,
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's not really cool. And yeah, so what did y'all think about that scene there?
She getting on my nerves.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
Thank you,
she's
Reese.
whiny. Like every 2 seconds. Like, and I get it, you know what I mean? Like when stuff happens that you don't like, I do get it. Like you gotta let a person know. Cause if you don't, you'll be like Deontay and get ran over because he never
Right.
stands up for himself until he's 100% and just I'll just throw your teddy bear on the ground and you know what I'm saying, throw your regular
Right.
shoes on the ground, crazy mad. But like, so I do agree that she should talk about the things that's bothering her, but it just seems becoming now it's more of a nagging, and
Yep.
then it's a more of a whiny, and then she does, and I got it too, cause like she's having to adjust. Like he has to be understanding that she's been waiting on him and she did lose her job for him and he should be more adaptive to that, but at the same time, um if he was in confinement like solitary kind of by himself most of the time, she does have to understand that he may really have a hard time dealing with being face to face with somebody all the time because it's not
Right.
what he's been doing for the last however many years he was locked up, or
Well,
his whole adult life, right?
yes, he's been
So
locked up. That's why I always keep going back to you have to remember how long these people have been in jail. Now, with him, he has spent his whole adult life in jail. He's been in
mhm.
jail for 11, almost 12 years. So he was 17 when he was locked up.
Mhm.
You know, how is it you think this man is supposed to know how to treat you or be up under you like that when he has not had the experience of having girlfriends, of being
Mhm.
quote unquote trained or taught how to take care of women or be there for a woman or what a woman needs or anything like that. He spent his whole adult life in jail. And I think
Mhm.
she's totally missing the point. You're
Yeah.
instead of you sitting there nagging, 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 wah, nah, 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 I would get tired of that too. Damn, I'd rather be up under the damn dogs. Like, leave me
Mhm.
alone.
Yeah.
And then she said that they had only had sex 3 times, probably because you were nagging the whole time during sex. So he's like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that either.
Yeah.
So
I
he
know.
said,
Hit it from the back, Josh.
yeah, just yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you're not touching me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not doing this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kiss my forehead. Like, shut up.
Yeah. I know. Josh, hit it from
Mhm.
the back, not that
Yeah,
way to the left. You
Mhm.
know? Yeah, I
right.
definitely believe she is definitely being very, very naggy. And I feel like, in a relationship, in a marriage, you need open communication. He has communicated to you the same way that, you feel annoyed by certain things. At least he's telling you. And I
And
feel like that's one of the hardest things in a relationship is the communication part.
it's the
So if he's at least
communication. Yeah.
communicating with you, I think you need to, I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
just
he's
change everything about it, but at least understand where he's coming from.
yeah, don't okay, he said stop doing something and you continue to do it. What about that makes you think you're sexy and he'd want to screw you?
She said
No.
she's
Right.
sexy and she looks good.
Yeah, she
She
did
did
say
say that,
that.
but when you're annoying somebody, you're not sexy. You don't
No,
look
you're
good at that
not.
moment.
It's
You
like
know.
I couldn't imagine. And I think that's what he's like. And like he said, he's even explaining it to her. Like, I have been
Right.
in a prison cell by myself. And he
Mhm.
probably has been for a majority of his time because he went in at 17. So they
Hmm.
probably did kind of keep him isolated so he wouldn't, be fed to the wolves, I guess. But he kind of probably adapted. And then she was mad that he keeps in touch with people in jail. That's all he
Yes, that part
knows.
too. Yeah.
That's all
Those are
he
his
knows.
friends.
He doesn't
Those are
have
his
any friends,
friends.
or he probably has very little friends on the outside.
On the
Yeah,
outside,
like I said,
if
she's just too
any.
naggy. She's too naggy,
Yes, she's
and
too
she's being,
much.
yeah.
Ugh.
I'm just like, I get
Yeah.
why he doesn't want to sleep with you right now. And
Yeah.
then as she wants, is wanting sex, you look over at the bed. She's laid across the bed, but she got the dog all up on her and la. Like that's not a sexy look. Okay, if you want that man to come and get you, go in the first, get the dog out the bed, go hop in the shower, put you on a little sexy piece, light up some candles. Because heck, maybe that house smells bad with all those dogs running around. And if the house stank, I'm not gonna want to lay around with you in bed playing with, like I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
She not trying and she want him to be like jumping to be like, well, you lost your job for me and so, I'm gonna do whatever you want. But she gotta remember, like, I mean, she made the decision also. And then too, like, is that I got it, that was like her, she was good at it, that was her career, whatever. But I'm like, come on, like get off of that job. Like we already done heard her say this like 30 times. I'm
We've
like,
heard her say it. We've watched her
it
cry
look,
about it. It's like it's time
this
to let it
job,
go.
this job is becoming Nicole Jr. I don't want to hear about it no more now. I'm like,
Yeah.
we got it. We get it. We got it. Like you've told the audience, you've told the producers, you've told the world, you told him 17 times and he only
Yeah,
been home
look,
10
you're all at the
days.
bridal shop talking about it. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm like, Reese, I'm tired of it. I'm tired
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
hearing about it. Like
Every
holding that over
confessional.
his head. Yeah,
Yeah, because
Every
I'm
confessional.
sorry, if you loved your job that much,
You wouldn't
you
have did
wouldn't
what you
have.
did.
you
Yeah,
wouldn't have done it. You
Yep.
wouldn't have risked it. Or
Mhm.
if you just or you could have went ahead and tried to get yourself transferred and maybe tried it and see if it works when you're not in the prison with him. Like, I don't
yeah,
know how any of that works, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you, like you said, Reese, you had a part in this too. It's not like he
Mhm.
came over to you and seduced you and told
Mhm.
you, lose your job for me so we can be
Mhm.
together in the end. Like, he
hmm
didn't do any of that. He didn't ask for any of this.
yeah. He didn't ask her to put anything on the line for him. She chose to do that for love. Okay, So now what? Anything that you help him with now that he's out, are you going to dangle that over his head every chance you get? Because it's like it comes up every episode. Like Risa said, it's way too much. I'm tired of talking
Hmm.
about
They're gonna be
it.
100 years old, and she's like, "I lost my job for you." Like, yeah, but you've
Right.
had 30 other jobs since then. Shoot,
Right.
be quiet.
That's a go-to move.
It is. It is.
Let's
Yeah,
stay.
it's
That's
like
we
yeah,
joker.
it's like yeah, it's like when a woman catches her man cheating, and then it's always all about the cheating. It's like, be quiet,
Yeah,
move
you
on.
forgave it and move on, or you're gonna always talk about it. Because if that's the case, then we can't move
Right.
forward either.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Exactly. So, what did
Like,
you
I don't
think
want to
about
be
that,
the
Sean?
reason that you constantly 24/7 are thinking about that job. It reminds you too much of it, so maybe I should leave.
Yeah. So, Sean, what did
Mhm.
you think about this scene?
But the conversation part, when it was having conversation, I thought that was good because I had an old friend was saying how one time that he was in the parking lot, him and his wife was fussing, and it was at church, and they was fussing
Oh,
out in the parking lot, and
what?
one of the
What
people
kind
he,
of?
huh? Well, you know,
I'm
people
like
fuss.
in the church parking lot. Y'all couldn't wait to
Yeah.
get in the car and drive off.
They were fussing, and then one of the people went in and told the pastor, "It's like so and so is out there fussing." It's like, well, at least they're communicating. You know,
Mm.
so, and
Mm,
because that individual that told him that was one that was not talking to his wife at all, so that was kind of like a snapback at that moment.
Ah.
yeah.
So, so that's like, so,
Oh, the pastor got popping off, huh?
At least they communicating.
so at least those two was communicating. Now she didn't like the way the conversation was going because I guess in her mind she was losing because she didn't get what she want, and that was to have sex. So that's her go-to is to say about the job. Now I didn't notice it before, but seeing that y'all say she says it every time, because the one time I had saw, I thought they were sitting at the table. He was
Hmm.
like, "I know you
Oh,
gave up
that's
all
when
that
she
you
was
gave up."
crying about it. Yeah, she was just
Mhm.
crying. I'm like, girl, eat your steak. Calm down.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
All you
So
need
I
to do is
thought
sit
that,
down and eat your
that they
food.
was forgiven. So if you're gonna forgive somebody something, then you gotta let it go. If you
Hmm.
can't let it go, then maybe you need to let that individual go because that's gonna hurt their relationship later on down the road.
Yeah.
You
And I'm
can't.
like, Gracie, yeah, she wasn't doing it by herself. You was,
Right.
you know, I mean,
Hmm.
it wasn't like he did something to make you lose your job. You were involved. It was two of y'all in there doing
That's
that.
right.
So I don't, I don't know.
Look, and I was smiling because he was like the pastor. He had the little snap back at the end. He talking about, and like you said, at least we're communicating. I was like,
He did. That
she
part
got
was
that door was like. I was like, dude, she gonna pull that door through that little wooden frame, but I like she better stop.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, and then I do feel for her because of the fact that they're going to be gone in 14 days,
Hmm.
and
And
she
that's
wants
Yeah.
probably why.
wants to be with him all the time because 14 days is not a long time
Mhm.
after, with the
It
Yeah,
is.
possibility of 3 years. You know,
yeah.
But she needs to also think about, okay, so y'all are going to be separated possibly for 3 years. You need to make the best of the days that you
Hmm.
have together and
yeah,
not be doing all this whining and crying all the time and picking fights. She's
right,
at a point where
Spoiled.
she's at this point. Yeah,
right,
she's very spoiled acting.
yeah. Because if she can figure
Very.
that out, then without the thinking that sex is the only way to be intimate, uh,
Hmm.
they might
Right.
it might lead to intimacy. So if she
Right.
needs to be more
Yeah, because
open.
there's other ways to be intimate. That's a good point. There's other ways to be intimate, or at least create the ambiance to allow intimacy to happen.
Hmm.
right.
Yeah,
If
but,
intercourse is what you're wanting,
uh-huh.
but laying
And
on
she
the
don't
couch, laying on
have
the bed, rolling around on the bed with a dog
to.
in your yoga clothes, because it her outfit looked like it was a yoga outfit or some workout clothes or something. I'm like, girl, create the scene.
Mhm. Yeah, and then when he said he couldn't get it up, well, I was like, well, at least you don't have to worry about other women trying to take him out.
But he was lying. When he said that again, I was screaming, the lies. Like, honey.
Yeah, because if I was her, I'd say, well, go get some medication for it.
Yeah.
They
Like,
got
oh, we
commercials all over
doctor,
the
we can get
thing.
you some Viagra. Yeah.
Wait,
And I feel like he's too young to be having those issues too.
Uh-huh.
He is.
wait.
But again, when you think about, I again, like I'm gonna beat this with a dead horse, is he's been in jail for 11 years. So it's not like he's grown up and had multiple women. It's not like it's not like he's trained himself like that. And who knows, if I don't, I'm not going to sit here and say all men who are in jail sleep with each other. We don't know what his dynamic with sex was. It may not have been important for him. So therefore, he hasn't learned or nor wanted to have the stamina to keep up or miss it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's something he's missed.
Yeah, I can go
Right.
with that. I'll buy
Uh,
that percent, but don't be talking about because I'm 30.
yeah, no, 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 absolutely not. I
Like,
think he
I don't
needs to just. I think what he probably should say is, you know what, you being quiet really turns me on,
Oh.
and see how that works. Maybe she'll shut up.
see
Yeah.
my
Yeah. Just slam some more doors.
like,
That's
am I
all I
being
kept sitting here thinking to myself. This man's been in jail since he was 18, 17, 18 years old. He has not, he's just not who you're looking for in the sense of knowing to
Yeah, how to
snuggle with
take.
you and
Yeah.
be with you and be up under you. That's just
And he
not
don't know
what you
how
want.
to. He don't know how to be a husband, or even probably even how to be a good boyfriend because he was still a
No,
kid.
he's never had it. Like, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever he has to compare it to is high school. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta,
Yeah, but hey, you remember she was talking about how good it was. Maybe that's what she's itching to get back to it. Because remember,
well,
she was
Yeah.
saying
he
that he
was,
was a really great lover.
she wasn't
Yeah.
He
nagging him
talked too
like
much.
that the first time they got to bed.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Maybe he be
So
turned on too. She provides some real food, man. He got that man in there eating ramen noodles. This man been in jail.
yeah,
He
they
doing
was
some
eating a
noodle
lot of
soup. Oh,
instant
they ain't no
stuff.
noodle soup. That's some ramen
Yeah,
noodles.
because you remember when they had the steak dinner, it looked like the macaroni and cheese was boxed macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have noticed that about him. Yeah,
Yeah, she's not
yeah.
a cooker either.
yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's what they say, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, and a way to his funness is by being quiet. So just be quiet and feed him.
And look, he being nice and generous and was like, "You want some of this noodle soup?"
Yeah,
I was like, "You get out of there
he
with that noodle
actually
soup."
cooked for you. He didn't storm off and go sulk or go play video games. He actually sat there and had a conversation with you,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Hmm.
walk off mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So. All right, well, guys, that was last night's episode of Love After Lockup. I felt like it was a pretty good episode
Yeah, it
overall. What
was.
did you guys
Yeah,
think?
I thought it
we
was
covered a
good.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was pretty
It was
good. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see what happens with Deontay and Nicole. Um, 'Cause I know after last week, I was pretty much ready to write them off as a couple. Um, but like I said, overall, I didn't talk about fashion too much. Outside of Stan's Freddy Krueger sweater, um, they weren't really bringing much fashion this episode.
Mhm.
Anissa was her huge. She looked like grandma that lives on the ranch in this episode. Um, but yeah, but I think it was good overall.
Um,
And mhm.
Another thing, like the more I'm sorry, it just really clicked in my because like I'm remembering Stan's house and like the garage looked like it needs to be painted and I got it's a garage, but I mean, because you mentioned the sweater and stuff, I mean, he really just does not live like somebody with money. Period. Like
No, he doesn't.
period. I'm like
Something
his
that
house. The more they show it, the more I get so disappointed. Because even when she was holding the little thing in the room, it did almost look like a closet. The little she was holding up the thing, because I'm like, how much space is in this basement? Because usually a basement is at least your whole lower level on the
Right.
bottom, and I felt like that was a sliver. Like I know this house, at least it goes long ways. At least we saw that from the outside view of it. So if this is a basement, like I need to understand. Like, is this really what's happening here, man? I want
yeah,
to know
you
his
want to
net
see the floor
worth.
plans. Yeah,
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 because
you
I
want to
feel
see that.
like I don't know. That he ain't giving off the vibes to me that he's somebody you need to be really like pressing that hard for money because I don't think he got it like that.
No. Well, yeah.
I,
It's
I
so if
don't
he
think
does,
so.
like I said, he ain't hit the age to touch it.
Now, something
Brittany,
else.
Brittany and Rachel's house run circles around his house.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
I ain't
Hell,
absolutely.
buying it.
Ray's parents' house
Oh yeah,
is a freaking millionaire house compared to his.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like it just he's not living. And like I know I said before how they are very frugal, that's why they have money, but there's certain things they don't skimp on and living is not one of them.
Mm.
That
Let's
Yeah, or
I'm sorry,
like
you'll,
that grip.
yeah, or
yeah,
if they
it's just
skimp on their house, they have a really nice car, or if they skimp on the car, they're taking vacations. It's something that they will spend money on.
yeah.
Hmm.
And he
I
has
remember when,
nothing.
yeah, when Oprah Winfrey had her talk show, that was something she used to ask celebrities when they came on the show, and she would always say, "What is it that one thing that you splurge on?" Which it makes sense because there's always going to be that one thing that you just
Right.
can't
Basement.
not splurge on.
Yeah.
That ain't it either.
Maybe
He's
he
working on that
splurged
Well,
on
we
a
haven't seen,
straight
you know what,
jacket.
y'all, though? We haven't seen the sex toys. Maybe he splurges on sex toys.
Maybe.
maybe
Right.
because
How
I
much money
mean,
are you truly spending on this?
but that straight jacket look expensive.
It does. I
That
look
It
like
thing
does
look.
look
real
like
I'm
leather.
like,
real
that's
leather.
real
Yeah,
life.
that was no genuine leather there.
No, no, because like that thing, you think of the little white one that, you know what I'm saying? That thing was nice. I was like, well, shoot, like you can hook stuff to it. Like that.
I'm telling
It was
y'all what
extra
maybe
long, so if you got
three.
somebody tall, short, you know what I'm saying? I was like, now that thing was, so I just imagine, you're right. He might have some crazy stuff in that, but
I'm,
it looked like it just looked like a raggedy basement too.
I'm a swing
Yeah.
section in there.
I'm thinking like just a half a swing though, because I feel like you ain't got much room for much.
He'd
Like,
be knocking the walls as they're
I
yeah,
swinging.
know,
you
right?
look, you hang up the swing, but you can't actually swing. You just sit on it.
You just sit
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, there's no room for nothing. Like, I want to see this whole basement because I feel like this thing, the rest of his house disappoints me. And the backup when she was holding up the thing, if she's standing in the basement, I'm very disappointed because it looks like it's full of junk or something. But I need a pan out because if this basement is on point, then we'll get it. We understand.
Yeah, I want to
I
see
might
what
believe
his
he's a millionaire if his basement is decked out, but I don't think it
So
is.
I don't know if y'all paid attention to this, but every time his garage is open, we see that there's a little SUV sitting in there. It's not a
Is it?
big SUV. Yeah, it's usually sitting in there. It's like silver or a gray color. And so this episode, I was thinking, I'm like, if you have an extra car, why not just let her drive that car instead of going and spending $5,000 on one? That was something I was wondering about too.
They don't have
I
a
think,
license.
yeah.
But he was about to spend $5,000 on a car when she doesn't have a license.
I think he's just playing with her on that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
think
I
think
think
so.
he,
he is. Yeah,
I
saying it
need to
doesn't
go
get
back and look. I
better
don't remember
when it
this
gets
car
worse.
though.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, have to check it out. All right. So I guess that is yesterday's episode of Love After Lockup. All righty. So we will see you guys again on Monday when we will be covering the Real Housewives of Potomac. So come back by and check us out. We usually do that around 7-ish. So come back in, check us out again. All right. Bye guys.
bye.